Hey everybody, I'm Garcia, and today I'm taking a look at one of the expansions to Terra here. This one is called Investigation. In Terra, all of the players are going to be working together exploring a cavern by drawing and flipping over tiles and trying to find the exit while avoiding various hazards and monsters and things like that. Time pressure is certainly on, though, in the game. So the Investigation expansion here is one of 3 that I'll be reviewing. I do have a video for all 3, so go check them out. And in this one, you are going to get a new character, just like in the other 2 expansions, and then you get a sort of a different module that you can add into the game if you so choose to make it slightly different. The idea here is you are going back into the cave after other people have been down there already and their equipment is sort of scattered about. So there's a few different places in there where if you stumble onto that tile, you'll be able to draw and utilize a special power. One card that has a special power on it. It might be a card you keep for the rest of the game. It might be a card that you may discard to trigger a special power, something like that. And the character in here specifically ties to those special cards. That's their power, okay? So, I'm not going to be giving you an overview of Terra. If you don't know anything about the base game, go check out my review of that, which I did some time ago. But I am going to be talking about Investigation. So if you are ready for that, stick around, check out what's in here, and I'll see you on the other side for some final thoughts. With the Investigation expansion to Terra, you are going to get a new character, the Agent, and you are going to get a small module that you can choose to add into the game. You are going to largely play the same game with the same rules, but you now are going to have a couple of new things you can add into it. So, first thing is this new threat over here, Doom, with a corresponding token. The idea is when you are going to set up the game using these cards as well, and when you flip over one of these, nothing happens right away, but you put this token into play as a reminder that the next hazard you flip over is going to happen twice. It's a really interesting idea. It allows you to have one round of nothing, and then you know you're probably going to be hit with something pretty bad the next round. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get 2 of these back to back, which do not stack. It'll simply be Doom doubles the next one, and then Doom doesn't do anything special. It will still double the next one. And so that could be a lucky break. Sometimes the next card is not so bad. I like the fact that it makes that deck a little more unpredictable. Then these tiles over here are going to allow you to find goods that have been lost by other previous cavers in the cavern itself. You'll shuffle these 3 in, you'll set up the deck normally, remove the ones you need to remove, in this case just 3, a random 3, and then you are going to shuffle up this deck of cards which has items the players can use and set it aside somewhere. When players find these tiles, they are going to, upon entering a tile, draw a card from this deck, and they will then have a special power, a special ability. Sometimes it's one that sticks around, sometimes it's a one-use ability. So for example, a gas mask, or maybe they'll find a spare battery, things like that. And I'll show you a couple of those in just 1 second. If these are discovered without having a character walk onto them, then you'll simply put the token on it to remind you, hey, that one's still loaded, you'll still find something there. But each one will only give you one thing. The character itself, the Agent, ties very nicely to this module here, and their power is that at the beginning of the game, you are going to draw 5 of these items, you then put 2 of those on the bottom of the deck, and therefore, you begin with 3 of these already, so you could possibly begin with all those. And then their triggered power takes likely your entire turn, allows you to take one of these cards back into your hand. The Lucky Charm here gives you +1 to your die roll, but this sticks around. But for example, this crawled map over here, which does have a discard power, you could put that back into your hand for those 2 actions. You can only put back into your hand, however, the ones that you yourself discarded at some point, not any discovered by other players that they have used and discarded. It's a very interesting power, very strong, very fun to play. So, let's take a look at a couple of these cards here. The back of the included rulebook is going to explain all of the powers to be found on these cards, and the cards are numbered, so you can quickly find the matching cards. So say Painkillers has the power down there. This one's pretty easy to understand, but still, if you had a question, it's number 6. We go here, spend 1 time unit, discard the card, regain 2 health. And you'll have quite a few like that. Spare Batteries is number 3. It says over here, discard this card. Your caver does not perform the out of time skill check this turn. So you get to do that once. And you'll have a gas mask, as I showed you. A wetsuit, which of course is going to allow you to deal with flooded tiles more easily. Body armor. We'll go over here to number 12. Passive. Treat this item as an additional health point token. You have a signal booster here that allows you to discard the card. This is number 2. And another conscious caver may immediately perform an action that costs 1 time unit. And so you have quite a few of these different ones. You saw the Lucky Charm there. You have a flare that lets you, take a look at every tile around a specific spot. Very thematic, very cool. Here's a grenade. Love it. It is going to, of course, you're going to chuck it and blow up some beasties and several other things like that. As I said, there are 15 of these cards. And that's everything you're going to get in this expansion. So let's go back up top and let me tell you what I think of it and where I think it ranks in comparison to the other 2. All right, so that is Investigation. Let me talk about it a little bit. I'm not going to do a target audience format. I'm just going to chat a little bit. So the module here, the new mode that's sort of introduced, sticks pretty closely to the original game. You're going to get the same feeling as the original game. However, these cards that have special powers on them, I love that idea. My only negative when it comes to those is the fact that you barely use them, especially if you're not using the agent here. You're going to do it 3 times out of 15. I guess that's good, because you don't see every card every game, right? So that's nice. But you do not get a lot of them. That's the only thing that I'm like, oh man, I wish I was able to use more of these awesome cards. But the concept of finding equipment down there in the darkness and then using it to your benefit. When do you do it? If it's a triggered card, what's the, who should pick it up? Because if you don't straight up walk into it, you don't technically have to be the one to pick it up. Someone else could do it. Now, if you walk right into it, yes, you have to pick it up. I just really enjoy that. I think it's a really interesting, clever concept. This one, by the way, is my favorite of all 3 expansions. It sticks closely to the original game while giving me way more theme and cool powers and interesting choices. I love that. The character is the one that really feels tied in to what this expansion is about. Now, the other 2 characters are cool. I enjoy the other 2. But this power is fantastic because it's so different. Depending on what 3 cards I drew, my power will be different. What I can do. The sort of character I'm going to be, the things I'm going to attempt to do in the game, and I think that's just great. It reminds me of a character they added to Pandemic, which is a co-op I love, which allows you to take events you've played already back into your onto your character card and save them there for a second go. And this is very much in that vein. You can do things multiple times. That's really, really neat. I love this character. And you're going to see more of those cards, which, as I said, was really my only complaint. But if I am using this character in the game, I had no issue at that point. So I really think Investigation is interesting. It's enjoyable. You are in for more surprises. And this is a game that's already filled with those. Well, Investigation is going to give you more. I also think that the Doom cards here lead to some nice surprises. When you are worried about that card flip and you get the Doom, everybody goes, oh. And immediately everybody goes, oh boy, whatever's next is going to hit us pretty hard. So I think that's pretty interesting as well. So, as I said, this is my number 1 expansion for the game. It's the one I think is the most flavorful, thematic, interesting, engaging. I like the other 2 as well, not as much, but this is my number 1. If you're only going to get 1 expansion for this game, in my opinion, it should be Investigation. Check out the other videos, of course, of the other 2 expansions. I have Extraction and Annihilation here, so check those out to see what my thoughts are on them, to see what comes in there, and if maybe you like those better, and you can pick those up. But for me, this is the best one right here for Subterra. So there you go. This one, by the way, is going to get a seal of approval from me because I just love it that much. Subterra is a great game. If you haven't played it, folks, give it a shot. And if you are someone who has played it and you enjoy the game, then maybe look into getting some of these expansions. That's it. Thanks for checking this out with me, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.